bro, like the Suns, they broke up a good thing for this. I hope as a fan of basketball, like the teams around the league start to take notice that you can't, seemingly like you can't anymore, just throw together a group of superstars and expect results like right off the bat. These dudes just got freaking swept. They just got broomed by the Minnesota Timberwolves. And what I'm saying is that Phoenix, they had built a good thing through the draft, which seems to be what most of the teams that are winning these days are doing. Like they had, well, mainly through the draft, like just plugging pieces in. Like Chris Paul, he wasn't drafted by him, but Devin Booker was, and Mikal Bridges, and DeAndre Ayton and Cam Johnson, like that team that went to the finals, they were mainly built through the draft. Minnesota, they plugged in Rudy Gobert, but they drafted Anthony Edwards. Even the Denver Nuggets right now, they drafted Jokic. They brought in Aaron Gordon from Orlando, but they drafted Jamal Murray. And OKC, who finished with the best record in the West, they didn't draft Shea, but they drafted Chet and like everybody else, mainly Giddey, Lou Dort. The teams that are winning now did it through the draft, and it seems like the teams that are just throwing together these all-stars, they're unfortunately they're either injured or they're getting swept, like the Suns. Like they fired Monty Williams and broke up a good team just to bring in KD and Brad Beal, and they got swept by a team that was built through the draft that wasn't supposed to even be this good. This is like becoming the norm now. The teams that are letting their players develop and not just throwing together. I know Frank Vogel's probably going to get blamed for a lot of it because he's the head coach, and now it just seems like just a popular thing to do to blame the head coach. But the head coaches aren't the ones that are out there putting the rosters together. The rosters get put together, and the head coach, they just have to make it work no matter what it is. And I know he's probably going to get blamed. People are going to talk about him getting fired, even though they just fired a coach that had taken them to the finals last year. I think it's time, one, to be realistic, and two, to just point more fingers at organizations, at GMs that are putting these teams together and breaking up good things. Even with Milwaukee, they fired Coach Bud, got rid of Drew Holiday, and dang, are they going to even get out of the first round? Like, Drew Holiday went to Boston, and now they're the ones that are favored to come out of the East. I mean, you see how all this stuff is working out. Just everybody's got to start realizing that just throwing superstars together doesn't mean that everything's going to work. You got to have, that was just bad roster management to me by the Suns. And it's not like these players aren't all great players. Like, obviously they are. Booker, KD, Bradley Beal, even though he didn't have his best game last night, they're all great players. Nobody's questioning their talent. But that doesn't mean that they're going to work together to be able to win a championship. And I know this is their first year together. And maybe being pretty premature about the way I'm responding. But dang, nobody expected them to get swept out of the first round of the playoffs, even if they didn't win a championship. They were like expected to contend at least. That's not contending at all. I don't see any teams now that are adding all these superstars that are actually winning anything. I mean, you can correct me if I'm wrong. I might be wrong. But yeah, it's just got to be embarrassing for Phoenix. The organization should be, considering what they broke up and gave up just to bring in these guys thinking they were going to actually do something, and to get swept in the first round of the playoffs. But that's all I got to say about that. be interesting to see how things go from here on out. We know that the Phoenix Suns are going to be making vacation plans, but who do y'all think is going to come out of the West? Honestly, you can't count out Minnesota or OKC or Denver, but it'll be interesting to see. I hope everybody has a blessed Monday.